Everybody say hello to little, to little lion man. How do I start this? It's just still so surreal. I cannot believe that Noah and I are now a family of 3. Well, 3 humans. 1 dog, so 4. And if you haven't watched our birth story, you should go watch that. We'll link it here as well. Noah surprised me with that video and I bawled just tears of joy. It was very different than how I think Noah and I envisioned it, but at the same time it was everything that God wanted it to be, and so I couldn't ask for more. I am truly obsessed with Lion. Maybe Noah can throw up a picture right here. Sweet baby Lion. So if you did watch our last video, you'll know that we ended up going to the hospital Monday the 18th of October.
We're walking into the hospital right now. We're about to have a baby.
Here we go. That night, and they were going to induce me. The moment that we showed up to the hospital though, I actually started having contractions on my own, and they were picking up the pace like crazy.
We call those the mountain ranges right there.
The doctors actually told me that had I not already been scheduled to go in that night, I would have already been there anyway, naturally, because of how progressed my contractions were. And boy, let me tell you, those contractions. You guys asked some questions on Instagram, so I'm gonna answer a few, but one of the questions was like on a scale of 1 to 10, how bad were your contractions? I would honestly say, not to scare anybody, but I would probably say they were a solid 10, maybe 11. Maybe Noah has a picture. My mom was there as well, and she took a picture of me and Noah while I was having a contraction, and maybe we can put it right here. So yeah, that was crazy. Everything was going like super quick. We're so excited. We're like, oh my gosh, like this is all gonna happen like naturally. It was just gonna be awesome. We were like, he's gonna be here so soon. Like it'll only be like a few hours. Well, after I got my epidural, and that's another question you guys asked, was if I did get an epidural or if I didn't. My pain was so bad, I did get an epidural, and I have absolutely no idea how some women do not get an epidural. I think that is like, you are one of the strongest women ever, and I applaud you so much. And maybe one day I'll be able to say that I didn't need one, but this time that was a part of our plan. A few hours later, everything just started slowing down, and it started slowing down a lot. I wasn't really like dilating a whole lot, which if you don't know what that means, you can like look it up. You have to be certain like dilated. He has to be far down in your pelvis to come. And so they were like, we're gonna start you on this thing called Pitocin. It'll help speed things up and it'll be great. Like it'll make your contractions a little stronger, which I was like, but it's okay because I had the epidural. Well, we had a really big scare around 3 a.m.
I had a crazy night, a little scary moment.
I had just fallen asleep after they gave me some of the Pitocin. I was trying to get rest. Next thing I know, I'm being like woken up by the nurses, and they're like, we need you to flip over, we need you to flip over. There were probably 4 or 5 nurses in there. I was terrified. I didn't know what was going on until they were like, Maddy, baby's heart rate has dropped significantly. It like spikes and then it went down. So we're gonna take you off Pitocin. I don't know if that's like what it was, but and thankfully his heart rate went back up. Once I kind of like moved positions and stuff, his heart rate went back to normal. So that was really good. But it was a really big scare for us. But the nurses were so incredible. I could not have had better nurses there. No Pitocin, and so I had to just kind of like hang in there. Hopefully they were gonna let me write it out and see if I started progressing on my own. Well, we come to the next morning, I think it's like 7 o'clock, and not much has progressed, so they were gonna give me an even lower dosage of Pitocin and just watch me while his heart rate dropped again. At that point, they were like, okay, we're not giving you any more Pitocin, we're not gonna do this. He obviously isn't responding well to it, so we're not gonna give this to you. And I was like, okay, you know what? He's gonna come how and when he wants to come, and that's gonna be on God's timing. Comes around like 7:30, 7:40, and The nurses were like, he's ready. He is low. He is ready. You are dilated to 10. Let's get this baby out. And I was like, thank goodness.
About to come in here, check her, make sure everything's good, and then probably gonna start pushing. How you feeling, babe?
I'm ready.
Miss Lisa, how you feeling?
I'm so ready.
Feeling great.
I think I was so ready after such a long labor because I pushed 9 times and out came little Lion. And so pain is not ever fun and scary things are not ever fun, but it just grew our faith in God even more to trust him with our child, that he loves him more than we ever could. He is first and foremost his before he is ours. And so we just knew it was in God's hands and he was taken care of. And so that was our birth story. And I wouldn't have had it any other way because that's how God planned it to be. I wanted to see what you wish you would have known before labor. 18 weeks here. First off, congratulations. And second off, I don't think I wanted to know too much about labor. Like, I wanted to know exactly what my nurses and my doctors needed to tell me. But I know, like, for me personally, I know that if I knew too much information because of the way that I'm wired, that I would have a higher chance of having anxiety. And so I just went into it with what my doctors were telling me I needed to know, and then the rest of it I just kind of almost not like wanted it to be a surprise, but just go into it with no expectations and just excitement, very prayerful of the moment that Lion arrived. Next question was, do y'all want more babies? Yes, we absolutely do. We are so obsessed with Lion already, but I'm not gonna lie, Mama needs a little bit of a break. I need my body to return to normal, my hormones to return to normal, and my life to get on a schedule before I pop out another one. What did you need and not need in your hospital bag? To be completely honest, I use almost 100% of what the hospital provided for me because I was so exhausted, I was so tired. I just didn't, I didn't even look through my own bag that I had packed. Maybe second birth, I'll be a little bit more like on it, but I had my bag packed and ready to go. But the hospital provides everything you need. So don't stress, don't worry. Have your toiletries because you definitely want to be able to brush your hair, wash your face, and brush your teeth. And then other than that, just let the hospital give you what you need. Maybe your own blanket. But other than that, I didn't even want to dirty up my own stuff because your body has so much change and stuff's going on. So I just use hospital stuff. Okay, this is the last question I'm gonna answer is, what is postpartum like? I wanted to be really vulnerable and real when it comes to this because pregnancy is so exciting and so many people talk about pregnancy and like pregnancy apps and all of those wonderful things. And yes, it's so exciting and all the cute clothes and all these things. But then the moment hits, you have your baby and then it's like, oh no, what is all of this? But I do want to be real that I wish that postpartum was talked about a lot more, not to scare anybody, but just so that you don't feel alone because my hormones are going crazy. Like today I was holding Lion and a Hallmark show was on and I just started to bawl and crying. Like I wasn't really even sad, it just made me cry. It doesn't last, and I think that finding support is huge. I have my sister-in-law, I had a few other women that I know from different churches that reached out to me and were just there for me and asked me questions, let me ask them questions. Definitely a whole different ball game. Like right now, I had a 1st-degree tear. Sorry if that's TMI for anyone watching. Thankfully, I just had a 1st-degree tear, but I'm still wearing like diapers and panty liners. So the things that you see on Instagram all the time, those aren't always real. Like my stomach still looks like I have a little, like I have like a little gut right now. And that is totally okay. I literally just birthed a human. Like I look at Lion and I'm like, you were just inside my stomach. Oh my gosh, like that is so crazy that God created women. Like I was created to be able to do that and to also go through postpartum and make it through that too. Each day does get better. One of the biggest takeaways for postpartum for me that I think I'm learning is once you get some rest first, because you have to find rest whenever you can, is just finding like simple small things that have always like brought you joy. Like for me, I love being outside, and this fall weather has been so incredible that Noah and I and Lion and Mowgli will just go on a small little walk around the neighborhood, but the fresh air brings so much life to me. And doing things like that, or having Lion with us and like watching a show that Noah and I were watching before all of this, reading my Bible, spending time like just, even if I can't read my Bible, just turning on worship music and just breathing. And now you have a beautiful little miracle with you. And speaking of, I think my little one is awake, and so I'm gonna go kiss his little cheeks just until he tells me to stop, which won't be for a long time because he can't talk. So